After the war ended, the United States discovered scientists who had frozen people alive, infected children with deadly diseases, and dissected victims without anesthesia. They didn't put them on trial. They protected them. And for decades, almost no one talked about it. When World War II ended, the world believed justice would follow. The Nazi trials sent a clear message. War crimes would be punished, no matter who committed them. But there was another discovery, one that never made headlines.
And what happened next would quietly become one of the most disturbing decisions in modern history. When Japan surrendered in 1945, US forces began occupying the country. Officially, their mission was to disarm the military and rebuild a shattered nation. Unofficially, they were hunting for secrets.
As American investigators combed through military records and intelligence reports, they began to uncover references to a hidden research operation. It wasn't listed on maps. It didn't appear in public documents. Most people inside Japan didn't even know it existed. But once the truth surfaced, it was impossible to ignore. The United States had uncovered a covert Japanese military unit responsible for crimes so extreme that even seasoned war crime investigators were stunned. Thousands of human beings had been used as living test subjects. This unit conducted experiments that ignored every ethical boundary known to science.
Men, women, and children were deliberately infected with deadly diseases like plague, cholera, and anthrax. Others were frozen alive so researchers could observe how long human tissue could survive in extreme cold.
Limbs were amputated to study blood loss. Organs were removed from conscious victims. Bodies were dissected without anesthesia. These were not interrogations. These were experiments. The people running the program referred to their victims as logs, not prisoners, not people, logs. Most of the victims were civilians from occupied territories, especially China, but also Koreans, Russians, and prisoners of war. Conservative estimates suggest up to 12,000 people were killed directly inside these facilities. Many more died when biological weapons tested by the unit were released into civilian populations. If stories like this matter to you, stories history tried to erase, remember to like and follow. These are the truths most textbooks leave out. This wasn't a rogue operation. It was funded, organized, and approved by the Japanese military. And when the war ended, the men responsible knew exactly what should have happened next. Across the world, Nazi doctors were being tried and sentenced for conducting human experiments. Under international law, these crimes were among the most serious imaginable. The expectation was clear. Trials were coming, so the scientists destroyed evidence. Documents were burned. Witnesses were silenced, orders were given to deny everything. But instead of preparing indictments, US officials began asking a different kind of question. Not who is guilty, but what did you learn? American military intelligence quickly realized something deeply disturbing. The data produced by these experiments was unlike anything the United States or its allies possessed. The methods were horrifying, but from a purely scientific perspective, the information was unique, and there was a growing fear that if the US didn't secure this data, the Soviet Union would. In the early Cold War atmosphere, that fear mattered more than morality, so a decision was made. Instead of prosecuting the perpetrators, US officials offered them a deal: full immunity from war crimes prosecution, no trials, no prison sentences,
no public accountability. In exchange, the scientists handed over all of their research findings, data gathered through unimaginable human suffering. Justice was traded for information.
The agreement was kept secret. Victims were never named. Families were never notified. Official records avoided details or denied the crimes entirely. The men responsible walked free. Some went on to become respected doctors. Others became university professors, pharmaceutical executives, or government advisors in post-war Japan. They lived normal lives. The people they killed were erased from history. For decades, the United States denied the existence of any such deal. Survivors who spoke out were dismissed. Families searching for answers were told there was no evidence. Only years later, through declassified documents and independent historical research, did the full picture emerge. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't a lack of proof. It was a deliberate choice, a decision to value knowledge obtained through torture over justice for the dead. And the precedent was chilling. Because this story isn't just about the past. It's about what happens when fear overrides ethics, when power decides that some lives matter less than information, when justice becomes negotiable. History remembers the crimes we punish, but it also remembers the crimes we quietly forgive, when forgiveness was never deserved.
If you want more stories like this, hidden history, secret deals, and truths buried on purpose, like the video and follow the channel.